My wife often calls me a last minute person because I do leave things until the last minute. And that can actually be a positive trait if I create extra deadlines for myself. So the idea is that if you've got a deadline where something has to be submitted to an external party or you've got an assignment due at a certain date, don't think of that as the deadline. Create some intermediate deadlines for yourself. I did this recently for the research proposal that I mentioned. It was due on June 20th, and I actually set an internal deadline for myself to submit it to my supervisors by May 20th. And so that was a month before the deadline. And I wanted to be super conscientious, so I used all the other techniques as well. I broke down the tasks, and I used a countdown timer, and I worked methodically, and I actually forgot that the real deadline was June 20th. I thought it was May 20th, so I was treating it pretty seriously. And I got it done a week before that, by May 13th. So I submitted it to my supervisors, and it was great because I had already done it 5 weeks before it was actually properly due. I was able to make revisions to it based on my supervisor's feedback. It meant that the end product was polished and I didn't feel stressed. So I'd really encourage you to do the same thing, where if you've got a big important project with a hard deadline that can't be moved, don't use that hard deadline. Use a intermediate date where you're going to get feedback from someone else. And you have to actually be respectful about that you actually do want their feedback. And I find that it has to involve sharing it with someone. If it's just, I'm going to do it by this date and I'm just going to look at it at that point, that's not motivating for me. But if I know that people who I respect are expecting it at a certain time and they're going to give me feedback, which I know is going to actually improve the end result, then I'm going to honor that middle deadline. And I'm going to have something ready at that point. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to be moving in that direction and I'll have a lot of momentum by that point. Try it out. Think about when could you put deadlines into that big project before the actual official hard deadline.